Damian Lillard has been an elite player in the NBA for over a decade, but throughout his career, he's not been able to win a championship. In my opinion, the Portland Trail Blazers did not do the best job building a team around Lillard, so today we're going back in time. I'm taking over as the GM and rebuilding the 2016 Portland Trail Blazers. After taking a quick glance at this roster, it's pretty obvious to why Lillard wasn't able to win himself a championship. The supporting cast wasn't the greatest, so there's going to be a lot of moves we're going to have to make in order to make the Trailblazers championship contenders. And what I'm planning on doing is tanking this first season, and that's because we have our own 2017 first round pick. And if we end up getting ourselves a top 3 pick, we can get a player like Donovan Mitchell, Jason Tatum, or Bam Adebayo. Also, if there's any trade offers where a team's offering us their up-and-coming first-round pick, we're going to be pulling off those trades, and the Utah Jazz are offering us their 2017 first-round pick unprotected for Mason Plumlee, so let's go ahead and pull off this trade. This first season, we're just trying to lose as many games as possible, acquire ourselves as many first-round picks as possible, that way we could draft some new rookies coming into the NBA. In the 2017 NBA draft, we already have ourselves 4 first-round picks, which means we should be able to draft some pretty good rookies. The goal as of right now is to be able to acquire ourselves Jason Tatum. I do believe if we get Jason Tatum, our entire future will change for the better. I wouldn't mind getting players like Bam Adebayo, Fox, Jarrett Allen, or Lauri Markkanen either. The OKC Thunder are offering us their 2017 first round pick for Pat Connaughton, so we're going to go ahead and pull off this trade. The Thunder are a pretty good team, but we still get ourselves a first round pick, which means we could add ourselves one more rookie. So we'll go ahead and accept this trade. The Cleveland Cavaliers will send us their 2018 first round pick for Ed Davis, so let's go ahead and pull off this trade. At the end of this season, Russell Westbrook wins MVP, averaging 41 points per game and 12 rebounds. Ben Simmons, Rookie of the Year. Mason Plumlee, 6th man with the Utah Jazz, the same player we traded away, wins 6th man of the year. Giannis Antetokounmpo wins Defensive Player. Nikola Jokic, Most Improved. Ty Lue, Coach of the Year, and the Jazz end up winning Executive. Here are your awards. Of course, we're not going to have anyone here. Well, actually, we may have our boy Damian Lillard, and we do get Damian Lillard on All NBA Second Team. Not that that really matters. And we did exactly what we set out to do. We ended up being the second worst team in the league, winning a total of 21 games and losing 61. Also, please make sure to hit a thumbs up on this video and subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 videos. That helps out my channel a ton. No surprise here, the Golden State Warriors go on to win the championship with Kevin Durant winning Finals MVP, averaging a 32-point double-double. And hopefully in the NBA draft, we're able to get ourselves multiple lottery picks. Let's sim through this, and now it's time for the draft lottery day. I do hope we're projected, and we are projected to get the second best odds, so hopefully that pick either stays in the top 3. It would suck if we do fall out of the top 3, but let's see where it will land. And of course, we fall out of the top 3 and end up with the 5th overall pick. We do also have the 19th overall pick, the 22nd overall pick, the 26th, and the 30th overall pick via Cleveland. The Charlotte Hornets have the first overall pick in the 2017 draft, and I do want that pick for ourselves. That way we could go out there and draft ourselves Jason Tatum. So what I'm attempting to do now is trade for the first overall pick. And I would like to keep our own first rounder out of this trade if possible. That way we could draft 2 players in the top 5. But what I will do is throw in the 19th, 22nd, and our 2018 first round pick, which is valued at 2.5 stars. They still will be declining, so let's start throwing in some more first rounders. 4 first round picks does not get it done. What about 5? And they're still going to decline. Can we throw in someone like Evan Turner and get this done? No, we cannot. So it looks like they may not be pulling off this trade with us. And never mind, so we threw in our own 2020 first round pick and ended up acquiring the 2017 first rounder from the Charlotte Hornets. And it looks like Christmas came early. We now have ourselves the 1st, 5th, 26th, and 30th overall pick in the 2017 NBA draft. Now it's time for the 2017 NBA Draft. I am hoping to get Jayson Tatum and Bam Adebayo. So let's see what we're going to be doing here. Of course, we have the first overall pick, and there's no doubt in my mind we're going ahead and selecting Jayson Tatum to be our first overall pick. The Timberwolves have the second overall pick. Let's see who they'll select here, and they take Kyle Kuzma over Donovan Mitchell. Okay. Celtics have the third overall pick, and they are offering us a trade here by the looks of things. After thinking things over, we don't need the third overall pick. We're not trying to acquire ourselves somebody like Donovan Mitchell. We already have Damian Lillard, who we're building this team around, so I'm going to go ahead and decline this trade. And they take Markelle Fultz over Donovan Mitchell. Holy, their GM must be insane. Phoenix Suns, go ahead and take Donovan Mitchell. At least there's one smart GM out there. We have the fifth overall pick. Let's see which player we could select. So we can get ourselves someone like Lauri Markkanen, Bam Adebayo, De'Aaron Fox, and Jarrett Allen. We do need ourselves a power forward, so what I'm going to do with the fifth overall pick is go ahead and select Lauri Markkanen. And the only reason I'm taking Lauri Markkanen right now and not Bam Adebayo is because I have a feeling we can get Bam Adebayo with a later pick in the first round. I don't believe he's going to be a top 10 pick. He's never really a top 10 pick, and neither was he in the mock draft. So let's go ahead and draft Lauri Markkanen. The Detroit Pistons have the 11th overall pick, and Bam Adebayo has not been selected yet, so that's why I'm trying to trade for this pick. That way we could go ahead and draft Bam Adebayo. I don't want to risk it too much and wait until the 26th overall pick, because I don't think Bam Adebayo will fall that low, but I am offering them our 30th overall pick and maybe one more first rounder. That does not get it done. What if we throw in some more second rounders? Will they accept? And okay, so we do end up with the 11th overall pick where we could acquire ourselves Bam Adebayo. And it looks like we're about to get a steal here with the 30th overall pick. Derek White is still on the board. He is only at 70 overall, but we do know how much he progresses in real life. He ends up becoming one of the best defensive guards in the entire NBA. So we're going to go ahead and draft Derek White with our last pick, the 30th overaller. Here are the four players we drafted. We got ourselves Jayson Tatum, Lauri Markkanen, Bam Adebayo, and Derek White. That was the most successful draft we could have asked for. We got ourselves four really good rookies that end up developing into great players. I'm going to be trading away Evan Turner to the Sacramento Kings for their 2020 first round pick. The only reason I'm pulling off this trade is that way we free up $17 million in salary cap, and that way we'll have more money here in free agency. In free agency, I gave a contract to Joe Ingles, Ezeli, and Michael Beasley. I do believe we should have the money to sign all three of them, and yes, we do. We also have enough money to sign Otto Porter Jr., so I'm going to offer him a 4-year contract, paying him $12 million annually. He could be the sixth man. He's a good defender, good 3-and-D player that could definitely help out our team, and he will be accepting on a 4-year, $51 million contract. Plus, he's only 24 years old, so he will be progressing each offseason and going up in overall. Since we signed Otto Porter Jr. in free agency, we no longer needed Joe Ingles, so I decided to trade him away to the Philadelphia 76ers for Robert Covington and Jeremy Grant. Here we are at the start of this season with our brand new 9-man rotation. The starting lineup will include Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Jayson Tatum, Robert Covington, and Bam Adebayo, and then off the bench we have Otto Porter Jr., Lauri Markkanen, Ezeli, and Derek White. I'm not sure how good of a team will be, but I guess we will find out. Let's go ahead and simulate the first few games. The first game is up against the Denver Nuggets, who we do end up losing to, where we scored 93 points. Damian Lillard did have 31, Lauri Markkanen in his debut 17, Porter with 12, Jayson Tatum only had 2 points. He did struggle here, shooting only 1 of 6 from the field. And the next game is up against the Phoenix Suns, who we do end up defeating, and Robert Covington is the leading scorer, and bro shot 10 of 10 from the field and 4 of 4 from the 3-point line. Jayson Tatum had 20, CJ McCollum with 15, Damian Lillard with 14. We will be rolling with a 3.5-star overall system proficiency, perimeter centric under Michael Stauffer. We are stopped here at the trade deadline, and I'm going to be trading away Michael Beasley. He hasn't been a part of our rotation, so there's no point in keeping him around. Might as well get some first rounders in return, and the Denver Nuggets are down to send us 2 future first round picks for Michael Beasley and a second rounder. Jeremy Grant wants to sign a contract extension with our team, so I'm going to go ahead and extend him for the next 4 seasons. He's only 23 years old. I'm pretty sure he's going to progress a ton in the next few off seasons, so might as well lock him up now for a 4-year contract, paying him about $8 million. At the end of this season, Russell Westbrook wins another MVP, and somehow Lonzo Ball ends up with Rookie of the Year, even though he was shooting 39% from the field and 33% from the 3-point line. This most definitely should have gone to our boy Jason Tatum, who was averaging 18 points per game and 5 rebounds on 50% from the field, but it is what it is. Plumlee, 6th Man of the Year, Kawhi Leonard, Defensive Player, Karl Anthony Towns, Most Improved, Ty Lue, Coach, and we end up winning Executive of the Year. Let's see if we have any All-NBA selections. We do get ourselves Damian Lillard on All-NBA 3rd team, and it looks like that will be it for awards. We did end this season being the number 1 seed, winning a total of 60 games and losing only 22. And if I'm being completely honest, I did not think we would be this good of a team whatsoever, because we do have a bunch of rookies on our team, but we actually did really well. And here are the player stats for the regular season. The leading scorer was Damian Lillard, averaging 27.5 points per game on 50-40-90 shooting splits. CJ McCollum had 21 points per game. Jason Tatum in his rookie season was absolutely amazing, averaging 18 points per game, 5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, nearly 1 steal and 1 block, shooting 50% from the field. Otto Porter Jr. was averaging 12 points, and then Lauri Markkanen was averaging 11 points per game in his rookie season, 5 rebounds on really good efficiency. And also Bam Adebayo was really good in his rookie season as well, 9 points, 7 rebounds, 1 block, 49%. Derek White wasn't playing many minutes, but he was still good as well, 46% from the field and 37% from the 3-point line. And for the awards, I totally forgot to check the all-rookie team, but Bam Adebayo made it on 2nd team all-rookie, so did Lauri Markkanen, and of course Jason Tatum made it on 1st team all-rookie, but sadly Derek White didn't make either. And now it's time to start simulating the playoffs. In the first round, we're going to be taking on the Memphis Grizzlies, who have themselves Mike Conley, Tony Allen, and Marc Gasol. Not that good of a team, but they do have 2 pretty good players in Mike Conley and Marc Gasol. Let's see if we're able to defeat them. Game number 1 will go to the Memphis Grizzlies. Lillard had 32, Lauri Markkanen had 22, but we do end up losing. We do win game 2 though, where Damian Lillard dropped 30 points, 26 from CJ. Can we win game 3? Yes, we can. We also win game 4, and we gentlemen sweep the Memphis Grizzlies in the first round. So far, Damian Lillard's averaging 30 points per game, CJ McCollum is averaging 22, Jason Tatum's averaging 17, Robert Covington's been really good for us as well, so has Bam Adebayo. This is where things are about to get difficult. In the second round of the playoffs, we're going to be taking on the Golden State Warriors, who have a big 3 of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kevin Durant. And don't forget about Draymond Green, who's also almost a 90 overall. Game number 1 will go to the Warriors. Jason Tatum had a 26-point double-double, but we do fall short. We also lose game 2, we lose game 3, and are we going to get swept? Yes, we do. So we do get eliminated by the Golden State Warriors in the second round. And that's honestly alright. I did not expect us to make it very far in these playoffs, and that's because we have a bunch of rookies on our team. But after they end up progressing this offseason, then I think we should be a lot better. Let's see who's going to win the NBA Finals. In the Toronto Raptors defeating the Golden State Warriors by sweeping them, and Kyle Lowry wins Finals MVP. Something I've realized in the Steph Curry era, the Raptors are always unstoppable. They're OP. But let's take a look at the player stats here in the playoffs. We played a total of 9 games, and Lillard was averaging 27 points per game, 19 for McCollum, and Jason Tatum was averaging 18-6 on 46% from the field. It looks like we won't be having ourselves any lottery picks in the 2018 NBA draft, but I'm pretty sure we should have some first rounders, and let's see. So we do end up with a 30th overall pick, and I believe that will be it, because I do think we ended up trading a bunch of our first rounders if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, we only end up with a 30th overall pick and a second round 28th overall pick. This offseason, we will be trading away CJ McCollum. My goal for the shooting guard position is to get a good 3-and-D player because we currently don't have a good defensive guard in our starting lineup. And beside Lillard, I believe we need good defenders. CJ McCollum's a really good offensive player, but he's not much of a great defender, so I will see which trades we can pull off. I have found ourselves a perfect trade for the perfect new starting shooting guard. And that's none other than Jrue Holiday. He's a good offensive player, good playmaker, but above all of that, he's an elite defender. He is listed at the point guard position, but we will be changing that to make him the new starting shooting guard. The Pelicans were offering us Tyreke Evans instead of this first rounder, but I would much rather have a first round pick than Tyreke Evans. So we're offering the Pelicans CJ McCollum 2 second rounders and the Cleveland Cavaliers first round pick. And to give us a counter offer, it looks like they really want to give us Tyreke Evans. Let's see if there's a way around this. What if we take a different future first rounder? And just like that, we get Jrue Holiday to be the brand new starting shooting guard. Now it's time for the 2018 first round pick. Let's go ahead and see who the top 3 picks will be. So the Orlando Magic have the first overall pick and they go ahead and take Luka Doncic. Perfect pick by the Orlando Magic. The Celtics have the second overall pick and they're going to take DeAndre Ayton. Okay. The Pelicans have the third overall pick and it looks like they will be trading it away to the Charlotte Hornets for Kemba Walker. The Hornets go on to take Colin Sexton, so they traded away Kemba Walker, who I believe is a 90 overall for basically Colin Sexton, which is kind of insane. But we're here with our 30th overall pick, and we can select a player like DeAnthony Melton, who does end up becoming a pretty good 3-and-D player. And it looks like Anthony Simons is still on the board, and I'm pretty sure the Portland Trail Blazers are the team that drafted Anthony Simons, so that's exactly what we're going to be doing here. With the 30th overall pick, we go on to select Anthony Simons. There's no team player options to pick up. Let's go to qualifying offers, and it looks like we don't need to re-sign anyone here in free agency. And yeah, we've already have everyone signed here on a long-term contract. We do have about... Whoa, we have quite a bit of money here in free agency. We have $14.5 million that we could spend. This past season, we were one of the worst rebounding teams in the league, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and sign Clint Capella to be the brand new backup center behind Bam Adebayo. I'm going to offer him a 4-year contract, paying him about $8.75 million annually, and he will be accepting the contract on a 4-year $37 million, and his team is not matching, so that means we just got Clint Capella to be the brand new backup center behind Bam Adebayo. We no longer need Festus Ezeli since we just signed ourselves Clint Capella, so I'm trading him away to the New Orleans Pelicans for their 2019 first round pick, top 3 protected. Here we are at the start of this season with our brand new 9-man rotation. There was a lot of progression from our players, which I'm really happy about, and now the starting lineup will be Damian Lillard, Jrue Holiday, Jason Tatum, Robert Covington, and Bam Adebayo, and then off the bench we have Otto Porter Jr., Lauri Markkanen, Clint Capella, and Derek White. I believe this season we're going to be absolutely unstoppable. And something I forgot to show you guys, I went ahead and got ourselves a new head coach who is Don Nelson. He has a very high rating and I believe he's the coach that can push us to the next level. We will be running on a 4-star overall system proficiency, perimeter centric. Now let's simulate the first few games and see how we do. We do end up defeating the New York Knicks where we scored 126 points. Damian Lillard had a 30-point double-double, Tatum 17, and the rest of the team was amazing as well. The next game is up against the Phoenix Suns, who we also defeat, once again scoring 126 points. Our team has been doing really good offensively here so far. We do end up falling short here to the Clippers, but that's alright. Tatum still scored 32 points, Holiday had 27, and Lillard had a 13-point double-double. There's only one game remaining in this season, and our boy Damian Lillard is in the award races to winning MVP, but it looks like LeBron James is ahead of him. Let's see which one will win MVP, and it sadly ends up going to LeBron James. I was hoping for Damian Lillard to win it, but that is alright. Luka Doncic wins Rookie of the Year, Bledsoe 6-man, Kawhi Leonard Defensive Player, Campaign Most Improved, Don Nelson, our head coach, wins Coach of the Year, and we also end up winning Executive of the Year. Let's see if we get anyone on all NBA team, and we do get our boy Damian Lillard on all NBA third team, and it looks like that will be it for awards. And this season, we ended up being the number 1 seed, winning a total of 72 games and losing only 10, so clearly we were pretty unstoppable. Before we start simulating the playoffs, let me show you guys the player stats for the regular season. So the leading scorer was Damian Lillard, averaging 29 points per game, once again on 50, 40, 90 shooting splits. And then Jason Tatum was playing absolutely amazing in his second season in the NBA, averaging 24 points per game, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 50, 40, 80. I'm really glad we also got Jrue Holiday on this team. Bro was averaging 17 points per game while also averaging 7 assists on 50, 40, 60 shooting splits. I'm not sure how he's shooting 60% from the free throw line, but somehow he is. 12 from Bam Adebayo, 12 from Lauri Markkanen, and 12 from Otto Porter Jr. And in the first round of the playoffs, we're going to be taking on the Houston Rockets, who have themselves prime James Harden, DeMarcus Cousins. Somehow they ended up with Cousins. It looks like they may have signed him in free agency, and now he's their brand new starting center, averaging a 27-point double-double. That's an insane duo of prime James Harden and prime DeMarcus Cousins. Let's see how things go. Game number 1 will go to us, Dame Lillard with a 25-point double-double. We do end up losing game 2, we win game 3, we win game 4, and we gentlemen sweep the Houston Rockets. So far, Dame is averaging 28 points per game. Here in the second round, we're taking on the Golden State Warriors, the same team that swept us last playoffs in the second round. They still do have themselves Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant, and Draymond Green. Hopefully this time around we're able to defeat them. Game number 1 will go to us. Let's go. Damian Lillard drops a 30-point double-double. Jrue Holiday has 25 and Tatum drops 25 as well. We win game 2 with Damian Lillard leading the way, dropping a 44-point double-double. Can we go up 3-0? And yes, we can. Dame with 33, Jason Tatum with 29, and Jrue Holiday with a 24-point double-double. And this time, we ended up sweeping the Golden State Warriors in the second round of the playoffs. Take a look at how the cards have turned. Last year, it was the Warriors sweeping us in the second round, but this time, it's us sweeping them in the second round. In the conference finals, we're taking on the Utah Jazz, and this team has themselves Paul George, Rudy Gobert, who's nearly a 90 overall, and George Hill. Game number 1 will go to the Utah Jazz. Okay, Damian Lillard did drop 36 points, but they do end up defeating us here in the first game. We win game 2 where Jrue Holiday led the way, dropping 24. We win game 3. We win game 4, and we gentlemen sweep the Utah Jazz to make it to the NBA Finals. And now in the NBA Finals, we're going to be taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers, who still have themselves Kyrie Irving, LeBron James, and Kevin Love, as well as Tristan Thompson as their starting center. They were the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. We were the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. Let's see which team is better. Game number 1 will go to us. Bam Adebayo leads the way, dropping 22 points, 19 from Holiday, and 18 from Jason Tatum. Damian Lillard didn't do good too much on his points scored, but he did have himself 14 assists. We also end up winning game 2, Jrue Holiday leading the way with 27 points, Tatum with 21, Damian Lillard with 18. All we gotta do is win 2 more games and we win ourselves our first championship. We also end up winning game 3. Jason Tatum dropped 22 points. Damian Lillard had a 17-point double-double. Lillard has been struggling offensively here in the NBA Finals, but his playmaking has been on point. Now are we going to sweep the Cleveland Cavaliers at exactly what we're going to do to win the Portland Trail Blazers a championship, and Damian Lillard goes on to win Finals MVP, averaging nearly a 20-point double-double. I will be running it back one more season to see if we'll be able to win a back-to-back championship, but before that, let me show you guys the player stats for the playoffs. We played a total of 18 games, and in those 18 games, Damian Lillard was leading the way, averaging 27 points per game on really good shooting splits, 23 from Tatum, 16 from Holiday, and the rest of the team. In the NBA Finals, here are the player stats throughout the 4 games. The leading scorer was Damian Lillard, averaging 19.5 points per game, and Jason Tatum was also averaging 19.5. I don't want this video to be super long, so what I'm going to do is sim pass this off season, and then we'll catch up at the beginning of the next season, and there I'll show y'all which moves I've made to the roster. Here we are at the start of this finals season, and I did pull off one trade this past offseason. That was acquiring OG Anunoby from the Miami Heat. We sent them Otto Porter Jr., and now OG Anunoby will be the brand new starting power forward. The new lineup will be Damian Lillard, Jrue Holiday, Jason Tatum, OG Anunoby, and Bam Adebayo. And then off the bench, we have Lauri Markkanen, Clint Capella, Derek White, and Robert Covington. And if you guys are wondering why I'm not starting Lauri Markkanen, well, there's a few reasons why. First of all, we need a good offensive spark off of our bench. He's a really good offensive player. And the second reason is he's not a good defender, so having him in our starting lineup would make our defense worse, whereas OG Anunoby is an elite defender, and that should make our defense better. So let's go ahead and simulate the first few games of this season and see how we do. We do score 136 points here against the New Orleans Pelicans, where Jason Tatum dropped 38, and Lillard had 35, 7, and 9. The next game is up against the Phoenix Suns. Let's see if we're able to defeat them. We do end up losing. We did score 133 points, but sadly that was not enough. We defeat the Pelicans, scoring 155 points, where Tatum dropped 35. Lillard had a 28-point double-double. We will be rolling with a 4-star overall system proficiency, perimeter-centric under Don Nelson. In this season, Jason Tatum has made his first All-Star appearance, where he's averaging 30 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 3 assists, shooting 57% from the field and 48% from the three-point line. There's one game remaining of this season, and 2 of our players are in the award races to winning MVP. We have Damian Lillard and Jason Tatum. Let's see which one of the 2 will be winning the MVP this time around, and it will be Jason Tatum, nearly averaging 30 points per game, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block, shooting 57, 46, and 88. Zion Williamson wins Rookie of the Year, Eric Bledsoe 6th Man, Kawhi Leonard Defensive Player, Wendell Carter Most Improved, Don Nelson Coach of the Year, and the Celtics win Executive. And we do get ourselves Jason Tatum on All NBA First Team. Let's see if we get Damian Lillard, which most likely we should, and somehow we do not get ourselves Damian Lillard on an All NBA team, even though he was in the award races to winning MVP. That makes absolutely no sense, but it is what it is, I guess. We don't get anyone on All Defensive Team either. We did end the season being the number 1 seed, winning a total of 74 games and losing only 8. We just beat the Warriors 73-9 win-loss record that they had, and now we hold the number 1 spot with 74 wins and 8 losses. Before we get into the playoffs, let me show you guys the player stats for the regular season. The leading scorer on our team was Jason Tatum, averaging 30 points per game, 28.5 from Damian Lillard, 15 from Markkanen, 14 from Holiday, and 13 from Bam Adebayo. In the first round of the playoffs, we're going to be taking on the New Orleans Pelicans, who have themselves Kemba Walker, CJ McCollum, and Anthony Davis. So CJ McCollum's going up against his previous team, whereas Jrue Holiday is taking on his previous team. Game number 1 will go to us. Lillard leads the way, dropping 31, 27 from Lauri Markkanen. We also win game 2, we do lose game 3, but we win game 4, and we gentlemen sweep the New Orleans Pelicans. So far, Damian Lillard's averaging 25 points per game, and the MVP is averaging 32 points per game. And Lauri Markkanen is averaging 21 points per game as our 6th man. He's playing absolutely amazing, and in the second round of the playoffs, we're going to be taking on the Memphis Grizzlies, who have themselves Mike Conley, Zion Williamson, Pascal Siakam, and Marc Gasol. Game number 1 will go to us, game 2 goes to us, and it looks like we may sweep the Memphis Grizzlies, and that's exactly what we do. And let's see how our players did here in the second round. The leading scorer was Damian Lillard, averaging 30 points per game. Now we're taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves, who have themselves Chris Dunn, Zach LaVine, Andrew Wiggins, and Karl Anthony Towns, as well as Kyle Kuzma. So far here in the playoffs, we've only lost one single game, and that was in the first round. Game 1, we do end up losing. It looks like I may have jinxed it here. We do win Game 2, we win Game 3, we win Game 4, and is this going to be a gentleman's sweep? Yes, it will. Now we're in the conference finals taking on the Toronto Raptors, who still have themselves Kyle Lowry, DeMar DeRozan, Joe Ingles, Zach Randolph, and Nikola Jokic. It looks like somehow they ended up with Jokic, which means they maybe traded for him or signed him in free agency. The Toronto Raptors were the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference, and honestly, this team is looking pretty scary. Nikola Jokic paired up with DeMar DeRozan, prime DeMar DeRozan, and prime Kyle Lowry is honestly a really good big 3. Game number 1 will go to the Toronto Raptors. Tatum had 32, but we do end up falling short to Nikola Jokic. We do end up winning Game 2 here. Jason Tatum dropped 36 points, Lillard had a 25-point double-double. We do end up losing Game 3, and this is where we're going to come up with the defensive coach game plan, so let me fix up some things, and then we'll advance to the next game. I've come up with a defensive coach game plan, also changed up some of our player shot tendencies. Let's see if we can tap the series here in Game 4. So far, the Raptors do have the lead. They're up by 3 going into the 4th quarter, but hopefully we can push back here and end up winning this game. And so far, the Raptors' defense has been really good, and that's the only reason we've been losing. Damian Lillard hasn't been playing all that good either. We are up by 3, we're up by 5, 40 seconds remaining, and it looks like we will be tying the series. Jason Tatum had 38 points. Damian Lillard's struggles continue, only shooting 3 of 11 from the field. Thankfully, we were able to slow down Nikola Jokic, holding him to 6 of 15 shooting, and we made DeMar DeRozan turn over the ball 7 times, so clearly the defensive coach game plan worked. The series is tied at 2-2 apiece. Let's see if we'll be able to go up 3-2. Jump into Simcast once again. We will have home court advantage for this game. We do start off with a lead, but hopefully we can keep it. We're up by 5, 2 minutes remaining. Let's see what happens. We are trying to run away with it, and it looks like we will be winning this game by 12 points. And Jason Tatum went off for 38 points. Damian Lillard, once again, a pretty horrible outing here with only 2 of 18 from the field. I'm not sure why Damian Lillard has been struggling so badly here in the playoffs, but for some reason, the struggles continue. All we gotta do is win one more game, and then we'll end up winning ourselves a back-to-back championship. The Toronto Raptors will have home court advantage for this game, and so far it's a pretty back and forth battle, and it looks like they do end up winning this game by 4 points. Finally, when Damian Lillard ended up playing well, we end up losing. Tatum had 23, Bam Adebayo had 21, but sadly, our defense wasn't the best, and the rest of the team's offense was nowhere to be seen. Now it's a win-or-go-home situation. Time for Game 7. Hopefully we're able to win this game, and thankfully we do have home court advantage on our side. So far, the Toronto Raptors do have the lead, but we take it back from them and run away with it here in the second half. We're up by 20 points, 7 minutes remaining. It looks like we will be winning this game and winning the Trailblazers and Damian Lillard a back-to-back championship. Jason Tatum led the way here with 39 points, OG had 15, Markkanen 13. Damian Lillard nowhere to be seen, bro only had 8 points, but that's alright. We completed the goal of winning a back-to-back championship, with Jason Tatum winning Finals MVP, averaging 34 points per game. Before I end out this video, let me show you guys the player stats here for the playoffs, where we played a total of 21 games. The scoring leader was Jason Tatum, averaging 31 points per game, shooting 56% from the field, 45 from the three-point line. We had Damian Lillard averaging 24, 16 from Jrue Holiday, and the rest of the team was amazing as well. In the NBA Finals, we played a total of 7 games. The leading scorer here was Jason Tatum, averaging 34 points per game, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. Damian Lillard was averaging 18 points. Again, he was struggling in the finals, only shooting 35%, but that is alright because we did what we wanted to do and won ourselves a back-to-back championship. 12 from Markkanen, 12 from Bam Adebayo, and 12 from Jrue Holiday. And now that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please make sure to hit that thumbs up button and also subscribe if you're new for more NBA 2K26 rebuilds. That helps on my channel a ton. And also click here on the screen to watch my latest upload. Until next time, it's your boy Dragon, and I'm out. Peace.